In today's news, illegal migrants missing. Malone opens season strong. Maynard gets final sentencing delay. Panel highlights the role of the Constitution Review. BVI Chamber of Commerce to host series of events. USVI'S vs. SIMMONDS releases new single. And Haiti Council to vote for new president. We have the details of this and so much more when 284 News returns.
At Higher BVI, we're not just about business. We're about empowering lives, and that is because we aspire to inspire. By choosing us, you're supporting a company that believes in equal opportunities, diversity, and community growth. Our mission goes beyond profit. It's about providing HR solutions, fostering talent, and leaving a positive impact. Join us in building a better future, a better BVI. Choose Higher BVI, where your support isn't just a transaction, it's a transformation. Together, we're changing lives in these beautiful Virgin Islands.
Start the year off with more speed, more downloading, more savings, and more Fire. CCT Fire Fiber Internet gives you the speed you need to keep the whole family connected. Packages starting at $119 with speeds from 300 megabytes per second, super fast, unlimited downloads, even more reliable connectivity, plus free live streaming TV for the family to enjoy. Sign up for the absolute best fiber internet service in the BVI CCT Fire and pay no installation fee. Plus, get CCT Live TV for free. You deserve more. Get more with CCT. Life Unlimited.
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of 284 News. It is Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. I'm Ron Grant, bringing you the very latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. A happy Tuesday's wish to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Beginning our newscast on the local scene, the Department of Immigration is urging the public to be on alert and report any suspicious persons or activity as officers search for a group of illegal migrants believed to have recently entered the territory. On Thursday, April 25th, the Immigration Department received a tip about suspected illegal migrant activity on Peter Island. After coordinating with HM Customs and the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force through the Joint Task Force, 2 Indian nationals were located on the island. However, authorities believe that there are at least 10 other migrants who remain unaccounted for on Peter Island or elsewhere in the territory after illegally entering. The Immigration Department has asked residents and visitors to be vigilant both on land and sea and report any suspicious persons or activity that could be related to illegal migration. Meanwhile, authorities are also seeking public assistance in locating Monica Marcela Pienda, a Colombian passenger who disembarked from a cruise ship but failed to re-aboard. According to officials, Pineda arrived in the Virgin Islands aboard the Norwegian Sky on Sunday, April 28th. However, she did not return to the vessel before its departure, nor has she legally processed outbound immigration. They said, and I quote, "If anyone has information on the whereabouts of Mrs. Pineda, please contact the Department of Immigration at 468-4705, 468-4717, or 468-4754, or the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force hotline at 311. This is not the first time instance of a cruise ship passenger going missing in the Virgin Islands in recent months, sparking concerns among some residents that an illegal immigration tactic may be at play. Of course, we'll keep you posted on this story as details become available. Virgin Islander long jumper Chantal Malone made an impressive return to competition, leaping 6.26 meters to finish 4th at the East Coast Relays in Jacksonville, Florida on April 26. The BVI Olympic Committee recently shared the news in a Facebook post. It was Malone's very first event since recovering from a knee injury and subsequent surgery 2 years ago. The mark bodies well for the British Virgin Islander as she remains ramped up for preparations for the 2024 Paris Olympics. Yannis David of France won the long jump competition with a top mark of 6.64. Malone is one of the elite athletes supported by the BVI Olympic Committee's Tahisha Harrigan Scott Elite Athletic Scholarship Program aimed at assisting local athletes on the road to the 2024 Summer Games in Paris. The THSEACS funds receive funding from the Olympic Solidarity, Pan Am Sports, the private sector partners including CTL Home Center, DLT Solutions, Conyers, Capriccio de Mar, National Bank of the Virgin Islands, the Guana Fund, Republic Bank, BDO, Scrub Island Resort, and Smith's Gore. Continuing on, for the final time, the sentencing hearing for former BVI Ports Authority Managing Director Ovaline Maynard has been granted by a Miami judge. The initial sentencing date was August 21st, 2023, after she pleaded guilty to her role in a drug conspiracy and thereafter agreed to testify against former BVI Premier Andrew A. Foy at his trial in exchange for a lesser sentence. The date was since shifted on numerous occasions as delays came about in the Foy trial. The new sentencing date for Maynard is June 16, 2024. No further extensions are expected by prosecutors. Maynard confessed to being involved in a drug trafficking conspiracy led by former Premier Andrew A. Foy. The former Ports Authority leader told a Miami court that she helped the former premier pull off a drug and money laundering conspiracy to smuggle thousands of kilos of cocaine through the British Virgin Islands. Maynard's son, Kadeem Maynard, was sentenced on November 20th, 2023, and is presently serving 57 months in prison after he too pleaded guilty last year to a single count of conspiracy to import cocaine. The sentencing for Andrew A. Foy has also been postponed to June 25th after being previously scheduled for April 29th. Viewers, up next, we have more on the local scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Vibe! All right. Monet! Voice! Baby, yeah. Raw TV! Meeting in my bed. Alkaline!
Yeah, system we are create waves like the ocean, yeah.
Freddie Jackson.
Oh, my lady.
Gramps Morgan.
Feels like heaven surrounds me.
And more. The 24th, 25th, and 26th of May 2024. The Virgin Islands Music Festival. 60 beats, one vibe.
For more information, visit virginislandsmusicfestival.com.
Angie, how can I get my claims paid quick? Rent's due next week.
CG processes 99% of claims within 5 days. Remember when I was hang gliding with those goats? I caught a gust of winter flu right into a moving car. Every appendage was in the cast, and they paid fast and fairly. That's what I get for trusting a man with a mustache and an eye patch. Now I gotta go. I'm meeting the guy who bedazzled my toes.
99% of claims are processed within 5 days. CG Insurance. Good like that.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. Moving right along on the local scene. On the matter of the constitutional review, at a recently concluded panel discussion on the constitutional review, moderator Ms. Pat Archibald opened by highlighting what the constitutional review means to the greater good of each citizen.
I kind of looked for a quote that would kind of encapsulate what it is the review is really trying to do. And so the quote I think that you've seen when I communicate with you by email is that inclusion isn't just inviting someone to sit at the table. Inclusion is believing that they belong there. And so therefore, one of the opportunities that we have today is when we speak about it in ways that even those persons who may not necessarily have been part of this and maybe don't even really understand what is taking place, that maybe when they leave here today, they will have a better understanding of why it is important that they pay attention and the ramifications for them and their children and their children's children.
Moses Scatliff also took time to thank the Constitutional Review Committee for their hard work in conducting public research as well as making the review document easily to understand.
And I must commend the Constitutional Review Committee, Madam Chairman, Lisa Penletsom, who is a classmate of mine from high school, but the two commissioners sitting on either side of me as well, I think the committee did a superb job. And if you go through the report, yes, it's lengthy, but it's simplified, and they have done such a good comparative in terms of dealing with the public, listening to their views, but then addressing the sections in the Constitution, what is there now, what came out of their interaction with the public, the research that was taking place with other Commonwealth countries over British overseas territories, as well as what their recommendations are. And I think it's important for us to engage as a populace, as a people, whether it's in the salons, it's just to start that conversation, because unfortunately, we have done a disservice to people, to us collectively, because this should be a foundational document. It came in, there was one in 1976, there was one that came into place in 2007 after the general elections. But every single person, every single child in primary school needs to understand what that document is, what it means to them as an individual, and how it affects you.
Dr. Melvin A. Turnbull spoke on why the review was so necessary at this particular time.
Well, traditionally, a review is due like every 10 years. The last one we had it's been over, 13 years?
2007.
Why is it necessary? As I stated in the beginning, it's a dynamic document. It's the rule book. A roadmap. Let's say, for example, you drive in the BVI, and let's say, for example, we have updated everything and their numbers and so forth and street signs. During the course of time, some new place is going to be built. All right, so when I made the map in the first time, that building wasn't there. In order for you to identify it, I'm now updating the map so that everything is represented. So here's the case in point. If you feel as a person that there are some things in the Constitution that do not represent you, there's something that is missing, this is your opportunity to say, hey, what about me? What about us? Because an update is necessary so we stay in tune with the times and with the needs and aspirations of the people. So when the Constitution was first written, there are a number of things that were not there because they were not applicable maybe, or nobody thought about them. But as we grow, which is the dynamism of the Constitution, it ought to grow with us. In fact, it ought to be ahead of us so that we keep having something to aspire to.
Dr. Turnbull also spoke to some current gaps in the Constitution that the public has addressed.
Well, one of the things I would want to point out, let's, for example, talk about the powers that the governor has. All right, it's not that it wasn't there. So now we're doing a review, for example, and people have said, I think the governor has too much power. That's something that we've heard on the trail. Okay, so let's look at it. What do you think needs to change? And again, as my brother said, it is not our view, it's the view of the people, that we need to take back some of that power. And in some cases, there were others who might have said, we need to give more power. But the point of the matter is this. Whatever you think needs to happen, you have a voice, you need to make it known, and we need to adjust accordingly. Now, there's some things that we can request and want to desire for that you might find that they're not appropriate for this side of the world. And so one of the things that was done during the review in order for it to be effective is not just to hear an idea, but also to do research. So someone may have an idea, they don't know how to research, but in the process of researching, you find out, well, this may not be a fit, but we can find something else that fits the BVI.
The BVI Chamber of Commerce is gearing up to host a series of enriching events. Chairman of the BVI COC, Mrs. Shana M. Smith-Archer, spoke on the upcoming events and the commitment by the Chamber to making sure these events come to fruition.
This is one of our signature events, and we were able to bring it back last year after 6 years in hiatus. Again, the hurricane affected us too. So we were really excited to have it. So it's back now where it's normally going to be, because some persons were thinking it was going to be late in the year, but we usually have this just before summer. So May 17th and 18th, we're going to be at the Multipurpose Sports Complex. We still have a few slots left. So again, if persons want to register or they have questions, visit the website. All information is there in terms of the booth cost, as well as if they're interested in sponsoring, all the information is there. And if they have a question, they can call our office 345-3513 and speak to Miss Mercer. She's our events coordinator. And again, shout out to Miss Mercer, because we couldn't do a lot of this without her. So, I'm really happy that we have a team that's, the marketing, getting the word out, making sure persons are aware of what's available to them, because they can't access these things unless they know. And that was one of the feedback we got last year, is like, we didn't know about the trade expo. We had persons walking in the day of setup asking if they could register. Wow. So again, I hope those persons are already registered. But yeah, it's one of those things. So we made sure, we started the advertising for it early, so that persons, again, in your business, you have time to prepare. We have actually competitions, again, to help persons kind of level up. Mm-hmm. So we have best biz pitch. So they have to be able to pitch their business to a panel of judges, as well as most creative booth.
Smith-Archer spoke about the recently held Business After Hours, which featured young business owners across the Virgin Islands.
Yes, I want to say a heartfelt thank you. We had a Business After Hours. So this is one of our activities. Again, it offers an opportunity for members or non-members to host basically a networking cocktails. So what we did to kick off the series this year is at least once a quarter, we're going to hold one. And this month, we decided to focus on our youth entrepreneurs. So the 18 to 35 category. And again, for them to come in, network amongst themselves. Because there's so many times, when we see these events, I didn't know you did this. I didn't know you did that, and you've been doing it for how long? So small businesses, one of the biggest budget items they have is advertising. So this is almost like it's free advertising. So we had we had a good turnout, because last week the registration was a little slow. And I said to them, I really appreciate you guys, because obviously you started over the weekend and you registered to thing. But, we had everybody there, from persons doing food services, decor, bar and restaurant. I mean, you name it, and these are the future business leaders now.
Absolutely.
So that for me was really also exciting, because you can see where some of them are still working full time, because again, they haven't scaled the business as yet. But that again is what the chamber is there for, to help you to sit down now and come up with your business plan that says, in 5 years time, my business needs to be able to pay me, and they can give it the full focus, because until you actually give that full-time focus to it, oftentimes the business does not grow at the rate that you would probably like to see it at, but it is part of it. So we'll be having one a quarter. So again, we just had the one this week, and then in the following months, we'll have another one. So encouraging persons. So it's open to anybody. Again, it's not just for chamber members, but any business person that wants to come in. Again, you share about your business, I share about mine, exchange contact details, because business is about relationship. So it's important for us to create, the opportunities for that to be done.
She also spoke on CARICHAM, a regional organization that allows Virgin Islanders to network. Yes. I want to encourage persons, definitely they need to sign up for this. It's virtual, again, because we're still, it's very expensive to travel. So what they're doing is through Zoom, they're going to have essentially a platform where, again, you're able to come pitch your products or services that you do across the Caribbean. So CARICHAM, for those who may not have heard about it before, is the Caribbean Chambers of Commerce, and our membership spans from the Bahamas to Belize. So right now,
we have, I think, about 10 countries that have signed up businesses, including ourselves. So again, I want to thank those that have signed up for it. So far, we have about, I think, 11 businesses that are going to participate in that, and we're going to send them more information. So if persons view this probably within the next few days, feel free to go to our website, www.bvichamber.org, and go to the events list, and you will see all the information there, and they just register, and then we'll be able to follow up with them now with additional information. But again, these are opportunities now where, again, our economy is only so small and can sustain so much. So I always encourage, even if you not think you already know, to think about market expansion and to take advantage of opportunities like this to go out and see what's out there regionally. You know, you might even learn some things in terms of, okay, so if this is the competition, when I do decide to expand into other markets, you know what the standard is that's already established.
For the full interview, visit all 284 media platforms. And viewers, up next, we have a lot more on the regional scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
He hit me. Will CG cover this?
Don't worry. Remember when I was in that competitive arm wrestling circuit? 3-time champion, baby. I did feel bad crushing all those arms and dreams. So I took them all out for ice cream. And then we got crushed. Anyway, CG handled my claims fast.
That explains the arm.
The best cover for the best value. CG Insurance. Good like that.
Yo, everything good there?
Aye. This thing got me one way that day.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, I can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you, know?
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out that trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I watching ball. I've been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hooked, I tell you.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Moving right along on the regional scene, United States Virgin Islands artist, producer, executive, and 7-time Grammy Award nominated artist Verse Simmons has a new single with Jamaican dancehall artist Sean Paul. Simmons, who is presently at home in the St. Thomas celebrating the annual carnival activities, spoke to myself about the project. Additionally, Simmons spoke about some recent projects that have done really well, including his hit with Usher, Luckiest Man.
Yes, I've been putting together this project for a little while. This is one of the records from that project. I just happened to be in Jamaica one time working, and I got in with Sean Paul working on his project, and he heard this record and decided to get on it. So we just recently put it out. You know, we can gain some traction with it. Really excited about it, and yeah, that's just kind of how it comes together. I put together a project I want to put out probably in the summer. So this is probably going to be the first songs going into that project.
Wonderful. And speaking of that, one of your latest songs has hit the Billboard Hot 100. We have a number of projects, one with Usher. Tell us about those projects that have seen much success.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, Usher, Luckiest Man, that was one of the records I wrote for his most recent project that he put out, where he did the Super Bowl. So that was a really big hit. Maybe I will check that out. Also, What It Is by Doechii. I wrote that. It ended up being number 3 on Hot 100 Billboard charts last year. Actually, earlier this year, we hit that number. So just working, man. Just proud to be putting out for the VI, you know?
As a producer and executive, Simmons shared that he is now working on his own label titled Money Well Spent. He spoke about how things are going, as well as some of the artists on his label, and the importance of Caribbean artists crossing over to the mainstream.
Yeah, it's been going really well. Money Well Spent is the name of the label. One of the focuses of Money Well Spent is to really try to empower like Caribbean artists, not only obviously I'm in the mainstream music world, but one of my focuses is to bridge the gap between a lot of Caribbean artists and taking them into the mainstream. I've been able to be somewhat successful with that, and it's still growing. So really happy about that. Of course, we have Jada Kingdom, and then we also have the amazing Fire too. You know what I'm saying? So it's been bubbling really well.
Additionally, Simmons shared what's next for him.
I think one of the biggest challenges is probably them understanding that it's a wider audience to get to, and you don't necessarily have to lose yourself in that transition, but it's just finding that balance. Get a taste of your culture in a way that they can understand. So my job is to kind of cultivate that, help artists to understand where that line is of them being able to be authentic to themselves, but then also being able to transcend past, whatever bubble they feel comfortable in the artist. I think that's one of the biggest challenges. And then, of course, you're trying to break into a world that is foreign to us, even from the Caribbean, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, there's those hurdles as well. But, I've been blessed enough to be able to be successful in this space. So now it's kind of like my time to kind of bring people along, you know what I'm saying? And help put them in position moving forward. Build out longevity and legacy.
For the full interview, visit all 284 media platforms. Haiti's Transitional Council was scheduled for a vote for a new president today, aiming to stabilize the nation amidst escalating gang violence. Following the formal resignation of former Prime Minister Ariel Henry, the Transition Council assumed authority in a ceremony held last week. With a mandate extending until February 2026 and no possibility of extension, the transitional government is committed, they say, to overseeing the country's affairs until the upcoming elections. This transition marks a crucial milestone, aligning with former Prime Minister Henry's request in 2022 for a multinational security mission, which received United Nations approval over 6 months ago. The election was set to occur at the Prime Minister's Villa, E Dakura office on Tuesday morning. As stated in an official announcement, this pivotal event represents a significant stride towards restoring stability and paving the way for Haiti's future. We will have the results in a subsequent broadcast. Viewers, that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at 284 Media and 284 BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Ron Grant. I'll see you again tomorrow. Do have a safe and enjoyable evening. Happy Tuesday. Goodbye.
Vibe! Alright! Monet! Voice!
Na 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 na. Whoa. Baby, yeah.
Road TV.
There's a meeting in my bed.
Alkaline.
Yeah, system we create waves like the ocean, yeah.
Freddie Jackson.
I'm my lady.
Gramps Morgan.
Feels like heaven surrounds me.
And more. The 24th, 25th, and 26th of May 2024. The Virgin Islands Music Festival. 60 beats, one vibe.
For more information, visit virginislandsmusicfestival.com.